Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. In this movie, Journey into the Light, this minister has a wife who's an alcoholic, doesn't want to put her into an institution, wants to move on. He's gotten out of a big, influential church. He started in a small, influential church. His wife wanted to go back to something like that, more peaceful. But she lost two children. She has a problem with alcohol and emotional problems. She thinks that she's just a burden. So they sell everything.
For a good cause.
Chef,
We got some wonderful
Thank you,
things.
ma'am.
I felt so
Thank
sorry
you.
for that poor Reverend Burroughs. Everything's all fishy.
Right, wonderful.
I don't think I got the right tune. Did you count it? Did you
Well,
count it?
Sanders, what's coming to you, preacher? You had some mighty nice stuff. But, of course, you can't expect full value from a quick sale. I did the best I could for you, though.
She says something really important here. I don't know how well he's listening.
Well, Jane?
John, everything gone. Church, friends, home. Everything you've worked for and loved.
But wouldn't you do the same for me, Jane? If our positions were reversed? If I were ill?
If you were the town drunk. Reverend Burroughs, the public nuisance, a disgrace.
Stop it, Jane.
Reverend Burroughs is ill, poor man. He has a weakness.
Sorry you ever listened to them. I'm not sending you anywhere, Jane. I'm taking you away myself. We don't need their institutions.
Taking me where?
Look at this, Jane. You know what it is? It's peace and rest and fun. Why, it's the most marvelous vacation that two people ever had.
Vacation. Oh, John. Oh, how wonderful it'll be alone with you.
You're going to get well. You must. We'll work it out together. What better way could I spend my freedom?
If you knew how often.
I know. It's all been very depressing. And the sooner we get away, why, the happier we'll be. Let's finish packing, huh? I'll help. We'll go to Florida. Sunshine, swimming. The fresh air will do us both good, and you'll be as pretty as a picture again. And then we can start out fresh and really get someplace, right?
What does that mean? Get someplace.
Well, you didn't think I'd give up, did you? Not after I've come this far. Do you remember our first church? That dilapidated little old thing.
It was wonderful. Peaceful. Not too many duties. Oh, John, if we could get something like that again.
We would never be happy standing still.
Well, what did you have in mind?
See, she wanted something peaceful, something simple, not something so affluent and judgmental. He didn't go for it. He wasn't listening.
If there's anything you need, Reverend Burroughs, please remember, we all want to help you.
This is after she commits suicide.
I know it's hard for us to understand, John, but everything that happens is part of the Lord's plan. Jane was a very unhappy woman, but she's at peace now.
We want you to forget your resignation and come back.
You hypocrites. Now you're sorry. Now you wish there's something you could have done. Your flowers are a little late. They might have made her feel wanted before, but she wasn't fit to be one of you then. I can come back now, can I? I'm overwhelmed by your generosity. Hypocrites! Get away from me.
He's had enough, and he turns really hard against the Lord. He goes and starts to get in with the common people, gets knocked out.
Scare me. I ain't afraid of you. I'm not afraid of 10 guys like you.
Okay, you talk me into it. There's room in the paddy wagon. Take her away. Let's go.
Oh, take your hand.
Come on, here we
I
go.
don't want to go with you.
Come on. Ab, sister. You're all right. Come on. Line up, Dave. Take off your shoes. You too. Here, take care of her. Good. Scraped him off the sidewalk, Sergeant. Gertie here got strephorus again.
How about doing us a favor, Gertie? Go south for the one in.
I can't answer that till I talk to my mouthpiece.
All right. What's your name?
I don't know. Come on, buddy. What's your name? Where are you from?
I don't know. Frisk him, Dan.
You big apes.
Shut up. You're next.
Book him as John Doe.
What's the charge?
Plain drunk. Gertie here is drunk and disorderly.
Drunk and disorderly. Don't you ever get tired booking me for the same old thing?
Don't you ever get tired?
Okay, come on.
Don't you worry, honey. I'll be waiting for you when you get out.
You call that an inducement?
Ah.
I tell you, brothers, Armageddon is at hand.
Here you're going to see how negative he's become about God and life and God answering prayers.
Is there any among you who has been saved? No. I look around me.
Inside.
Then I see blacks.
Come on, buddy. Inside.
Scoffers. Steeped in sin and wallowing in vice. Keep going. Keep on spouting.
The only thing keeping us warm in here is your hot air.
I call upon you to renounce your wickedness and to mend your ways. Cast off your vain garments and clad yourselves in the white robes of purity. Wouldn't I look great in a bedsheet? Who believed the prophets? What happened to the sinners of Sodom and Gomorrah, Babylon and Nineveh?
New York, New Haven, Hartford.
They are deep in hell. They burn in the eternal fires. Their hearts cry out for the remission. They are the... You, brother, you do not scoff.
I'm not your brother.
All men are brothers. Join me in prayer.
Join you.
Yes, pray with me. Prayer is our strength, our light, our salvation.
You blind, deluded fool. You listen to me and I'll tell you about prayers. They're only words, empty words that begin with desires and end nowhere.
Wrong, brother, you're wrong. Oh, ye of little faith. The good book says prayer can move mountains.
The book. Well, I say it doesn't matter whether or not mountains move or stay where they are. I say it matters that men are cruel and indifferent to one another and that prayer cannot change them. Why do you pray? Do your prayers put food in your mouth, clothe you, shelter you?
I have my shelter.
Here? Is this an answer to a prayer? Then who heard it?
I got no argument with you, mister. Leave me alone.
Good work, pal. Great gift of gab. Yeah, funny seeing a guy like you in here. My instinct tells me this ain't your natural surroundings. Come here. Sit down. What are you in for?
They said I was drunk.
Me too. It says on there, ain't? Even you. Well, now, ain't that a coincidence? Just between us, I'm the victim of a noble sacrifice. Protecting a partner of mine whose nose ain't too clean. But one night in the tank ain't gonna ruin my disposition.
One night? You mean they let us out in the morning?
You are a new weed in the garden, ain't you? Here's the dope. They only...
He says, you are a new one in the garden. Very interesting. Let's go to the end of this. They get in a smaller church. This guy here is, he handles a lot of people, works pretty hard for a chump change. He sees a good way to make some money off this guy's mouth and abilities. He gets beat up again, and this minister and his daughter take him in.
Patience, thy name is Tharson.
Well, our guest's back with us. You know, it hasn't been quite 24 hours yet, John.
Sorry, I had no idea of the time. You shouldn't have bothered. I'll be moving along.
Sit down. Sit down. Christine is my witness. I was just anticipating a change from eternal feminine chatter.
Yes, please stay.
I can't accept any more of your hospitality. It's blasphemous. We're on different levels.
I'm a preacher, yes. You do have a strong aversion to the species, don't you? Is there something wrong with preachers in your mind?
Preachers? Is there anything right about a man who preaches his way into a comfortable, fat existence?
Why, no, but after all...
That man's a hypocrite and a phony if he uses religion to hide his own faults, feed his ego, fancy biblical phrases, and a holier-than-thou look.
My word, John, you may have a point there. Our situation might bear looking into. What do you think, Christine? Are we phonies? Is our language perhaps a bit fancy?
Well, it seems to me that his experience with preachers has been rather unfortunate and very limited.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean you. You've been...
Different. Not at all. I preach at the slightest provocation. And my ego soars when people listen.
And as to the fat existence, sit down and share it.
So I'll know you don't hold my preaching against me. It's a habit, you know. I'm a little old to break it.
This guy's pretty wise, but he's humble and quite a different, more like the beginning church he started in. He begins to like this daughter. She's blind. She straightens him up in a lot of ways.
I could be in the dark about you, too. If I said something wrong, please forget it, will you?
She just stumbled over something that wasn't in place. And he's starting to believe that she has some great worth and beauty. But he still thinks that he is the reason for his wife's suicide and that the congregation didn't help much. As the movie goes along, he falls in love with her, but he still doesn't think that he is worthy of her love and that God really loves him and is aware of his weaknesses and willing to forgive them.
You're a wonderful person.
No, not really.
The adjustments you've made.
But I had a lot of help, John. Life can be so cruel to some people. Maybe I was allowed to be blind, so I couldn't see. That might have discouraged me.
You don't seem blind. Your eyes follow me or anyone who's around.
But I went to a wonderful school where they teach us to be as natural as possible so that people will feel at ease with us. It was difficult in the beginning, like everything else. You feel so helpless learning everything all over again. But you'd be amazed how you can develop your other senses. After a while, you begin to feel buildings and street corners and trees, and you begin to smell things. Now, you know that a drugstore doesn't smell like a meat market. And sounds, too. You can't imagine the things you learn about them. Did you know that some sounds are round, and some are square, and some are fat, and some are skinny? Am I being ridiculous?
It's a great privilege to know you, Christine. Don't stop.
People are the most wonderful and interesting. You build pictures out of them, out of their voices, the sound of their laughter, the rustling of their clothes. I have a picture of you.
That's my cue to disappear.
No, don't run. It's not that at all. You're very tall, dark with brown eyes.
Pretty close.
Sort of distinguished looking. A man who stands out in a crowd, definitely.
I'm so outstanding that I ruined everything I ever had. I'm so distinguished, my wife killed herself. You say you had help, Christine. She didn't. She needed your kind of religion. I told her to believe in me, have faith in me. She found comfort in a bottle, not in me. She wanted to feel necessary, and I offered her a vacation and a higher pedestal to look up to. I was going places. She died rather than hinder my glorious progress. I'm sorry, Christine. I shouldn't have said anything, but your impression was so wrong. I'm a first-class has-been.
Nat's still eating him. She has a tough time with it too. They start working on different things, and anyhow. They go out and have some fun at a carnival.
You're wondering if I love you.
You've already given me more attention than I deserve. You've done so much to pull me along, even when I've hurt you. I don't want to take a chance at hurting you more than I have.
Please don't say that.
I've got to leave the mission. I should have before, but
You couldn't. Now you must. So I won't be hurt. It's funny. I thought you were going to ask me to marry you. That we were going to go on forever and build.
She just about gets run over here. Well, she does get hit.
But I can't ask you to share nothing with me. What would I contribute? Not even a home.
I have a home. It could be ours. And I don't consider you nothing.
I've thought of the kind of life that you should lead. Away from Skid Row.
But I thought you understood that. I love my work. Skid Row doesn't hurt me. Is it my blindness? Are you afraid to burden yourself with me?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
What are you trying to tell me?
I'm no good for you. Your husband should be your equal, with the same beliefs, the same kind of faith.
You say that, but you won't give religion a chance. Why?
I haven't the right to pray anymore. I was an ordained minister, Christine. An ordained minister. Religion was my calling, my job. But I tried to tell you the kind of preacher I was. Lip service was my one talent. It didn't pay off. So I ran out of my congregation. Broke with my church.
Yeah, but a minister can't break with God.
They're going to hit a high point here and a turning point again.
I did. I denied it.
Must be a terrible thing to have on one's conscience. I can understand you a little better now. Why you've been so unhappy. Why you were denying yourself everything that you wanted most. Not letting. But that isn't right, John. What you're doing now is terribly wrong. Don't you see? You're trying to act as a god. What makes you think that you can look down upon yourself? Be your own judge and deal out your own punishment. And punishing me, too, for loving you and wanting a life with you. What gives you that right? Do you think that God would be that much?
Christine! Christine!
John, it's almost time for the services. The mission doors will have to be opened. One of us should. I can't leave her, John. The sermon is already prepared. You'll find it on the pulpit.
Now we see him come face to face with his fears. And can he pray? Can he do a sermon again? Can he even trust in God?
In the absence of the Thorsons,
Miss Christine ain't here today?
she's in the hospital. Badly hurt. Unconscious. They don't know whether... Doc asked me to conduct the service.
I could maybe do a little pinch hitting. I know a real good soft hymn.
Thanks, Ricky.
Well, shouldn't we say a prayer first, especially for Miss Christine, don't you think?
Yes, we should, but... it's been a long time since I've prayed.
It don't have to be a fancy book reading, just a prayer.
Say anything that comes to your head, Lingo. Say we need it.
I've said other things. There are things that I've done. No, I can't begin. I don't know how.
Thanks for letting me know her, God. I'd sure appreciate it if you'd bless her.
If you don't hear me, God, I don't blame you. I ain't worth saving myself, maybe. But Miss Christine is. She's mighty good. She sure brightens things up. Guys like us need people like her around sometimes. Even her talking ain't hard to take.
She's got a way of making sense. Makes a fellow feel like things aren't so bad as that.
And maybe that's why you've got your eyes on her, God. But if there ain't no special hurry, just please leave her here with us. Of course, whatever you think best. And thanks for everything. Amen. Amen.
He's starting to think and feel maybe he isn't so smart. Maybe he isn't so wise in what he's doing to himself and to her and to the congregation. A real humbling point in his life.
God, forgive me. Forgive the wrongs of my spirit. My debts against thee and my fellow men. Help me to redeem myself. And find a place in thy service. Be merciful. Let me deserve thy mercy. And if it be thy will, spare Christine. Let her stay with us, to work in thy name. Glorify it. Thy will be done. Amen.
Amen.
Well, they turn to the positive side, they get married, and they're off. He changes and humbles himself and moves forward.
Come on, folks, step up. Eat cake for a change. How much of it? Don't be bashful.
Sure enjoyed the wedding, John. I hope you'll be happy for me. Congratulations, Bridget.
Thank you.
You look pretty as a picture, Mrs. Lingo.
Oh, thank you, Racky. Mrs. Lingo, wonderful.
They called him Lingo. I don't know what his name is, but he was good with words, so they nicknamed him Lingo.
I'm sorry.
Well, John,
I hope you have no notions about luring him away.
the thought has occurred forcibly.
Well, I wish you no luck. He's doing a fine job here.
It's a very difficult thing for me to do, letting you go, and I had many misgivings when time passed and I heard nothing from you. You made the wisest kind of move. No wisdom of my own. I had a little help. So did I. It's surprising how much clearer things seem when I use Christine's eyes. And I'm finally beginning to see what you meant by an understanding of the word. People, problem, God. And there's the
Now that's an interesting ending statement here. I'm kind of understanding what the word means with people, problems, the Lord. It's all connected. Anyhow, this movie's an hour and a half long. I'll give you the link to it. There's so much more to these little parts. And I love some of these older movies because they're so much simpler and to the point.
Coming back, John? I appreciate your asking.
If you do want a church, John, we don't have to stay here.
Yes, we do. We have a congregation to worry about. Right? I'll make a bargain with you. You keep your people from coming here, and we'll try to send one or two back up your way. All right. Shall we be on our way, Mrs. Burroughs?
That's his real name, Burroughs. But anyhow, Reverend Burroughs. Anyhow, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. An older movie worth watching, A Journey into the Light, 1951. Sterling Hayden and Vivica Linfors. Yeah, good day. Think about how we all have weaknesses. And God works with those weaknesses, tries to work with us if we will work with Him. Always moving up, always working with one another, forgiving one another, working with one another. Easier said than done because of our human frailties and weaknesses, which are so incredible. All of us get scarred in this life and wounded one way or another. But only through love and faith and patience, humility can these things really be worked on and worked through. Again, I say these in Jesus Christ's name, amen.